one thing that it's a question for you, and I think you kind of alluded to it in a sense when we're connecting this back to like the Nephilim and Enoch and whatever, these like Sumerian, Babylonian, like ancient Mesopotamian civilizations. Because my question is, kind of following the like Judeo-Christian lineage and then up through the Catholic Church into Europe and whatever, and then into modern day, even though that picture itself is very convoluted, there's still there seems to be behind it like an eternal truth of some sort. Like, for an example would be like sacred geometry. Like, to me, sacred geometry is amoral. Like, it is neither, I mean, it's you could argue that it's moral in the sense that like it is an emanation of God and sort of the way the universe works, but like nothing about the like flower of life to me is like that is a negative symbol or something. And if you are, let's say, part of a Peruvian culture or somewhere in Africa or Asia that has been for the most part historically insulated from that like Western esoteric tradition, those cultures may have tapped into that eternal truth. And if you think back to like, okay, if there's pre-Diluvian civilizations, that are 20,000 years old, 50,000 years old, 200,000 years old, how do you view all of their paradigms through the lens that you and I were kind of talking about, and that like, hey, there's sort of this, Gnostic occult, thing. How do those pieces fit into your mental model of reality?
Yeah, so good questions. And to the sacred geometry part, I've always argued that sacred geometry came from God in the first place. I just think that it was manipulated by negative entities and given to mankind to manipulate in a negative way in a lot of ways, right? So, but it could also be argued, right, that Adam and his line were connected to God mentally in a different way than we are now. And that they had, I wouldn't say secrets, but I would say that because of their closeness, that they would be considered what we would call alchemists now as well.